Oh, g'day folks. It's been a while since I placed a video on YouTube, about a month I think. And anyway, I'm just going to comment about the recent developments in Australia about a new program to dealing with asylum seekers. It's not so new, it's virtually a retracing of what occurred with the Howard Pacific solution from 2000 to 2008 before Kevin Rudd and Julia Gillard ditched the Pacific solution by using Nairu and Mannas Island and temporary protection visas that were issued to asylum seekers in that period. A system that worked and stopped the boats from launching from Indonesia, reducing it to near zero levels. The temporary protection visas worked, that gave temporary protection to persons who claimed they were being persecuted in their own country or were escaping wartime violence like that in Sri Lanka. And as once that war had finished or persecution had finished, they were returned back to their country of origin. And it also limited areas of these asylum seekers trying to bring in their relatives and so forth under the same umbrella as themselves. So limiting any further problems with overboard asylum seekers, so to speak, stopping them from bringing in their relatives until such time as it proved the validity of their case. And of course, in 2008, when Kevin Rudd became Prime Minister, he removed the Pacific solution, Manus Island in Papua New Guinea and the island of Nairu, and most importantly, removed the temporary protection visas. And finally, after 4.5 years and the death of 800 people who have died at sea, approximately, this ridiculous Labor government we have in power is this minority government being led by Julia Gillard, who from 2003 promised that the Australian Labor Party would remove the Pacific solution and temporary protection visas. Finally, after that period of time, the Labor Party has woken up to the fact, and they had to be dragged kicking and screaming to this, that they were wrong. That 800 people died unnecessarily because they placed politics above human life. They placed their own rhetoric above that of human life. They are the cause of the death of these 800 people at sea, no one else. Oh, correction, along with the Australian Greens, and caused the death of over 800 people. Not because of anything else, but because of sheer politics. Their ideas were incorrect and they were wrong. Finally, after 4.5 years of mismanagement of our borders and mismanagement of our immigration policies, Labor has been shown, along with the Greens, to be wrong. Earlier this week, on Monday, the committee led by Angus Houston referred to the Pacific solution that was prominent under the Howard government had actually worked. That temporary protection visas had worked, and hopefully they'll be returned as well. And that the Pacific solution was a viable working solution and policy to implement. That the returning of boats to Indonesia, where practical, was important and useful tool, and accordingly had worked. But according to the Labor Party, this was dangerous and it wouldn't work, blah, 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 and that, the Indonesians would get upset, Yeah, so what? The Indonesians get upset, so what? Big deal, And poo-pahhed the whole idea. Now, today is the 16th of, the 15th of August. The Parliament has voted into session through the lower house a policy that both the Labor Party and the Conservatives can agree to, with a return to the Pacific solution of the Howard government. But still, we have scurrilous rags like The Age down in Victoria saying that Julia Gillard proceeded over the sheer politics to produce this policy. Are they kidding us? This is The Age. No wonder it's going broke, with socialists writing not news articles but opinion pieces of socialistic agendas. And they wonder why this newspaper is going broke. This is not journalism, it is propaganda from the left, and as such is viewed upon. These elitists, and I refuse to call them journalists, these elitists who propagandise and offer these so-called opinions are far removed from the idealisms of journalism. They must think the Australian people are so dumb that we do not realise what these journalists are saying. And I refuse, I use that term loosely to describe these socialists as journalists. They are not journalists by any means or fashion. Anyway, folks, I've had my say, and that's all there is. Bye now.